On May 24, 1941, the German battleship Bismarck embarked on its first and only major operation, poised to strike at the heart of the Atlantic. At the helm of this floating fortress was Captain Ernst Lindemann, a man whose calm demeanor, disciplined leadership, and tactical insight would define the ship's brief but legendary operational history. In this documentary, we will explore the life and career of Ernst Lindemann, tracing his journey from a young naval officer to the captain of one of the most formidable warships of World War II. We will examine his early experiences, leadership style, and the critical decisions that shaped Bismarck's fate, offering an intimate look at a man often overshadowed by the ship he commanded. Early life and naval career. Ernst Lindemann was born on January 28, 1894, in Bremen, Germany. From an early age, he demonstrated a keen interest in the sea and naval affairs. At 18, he joined the Imperial German Navy, beginning a career that would span 2 world wars. During World War I, Lindemann served aboard various vessels, gaining experience in navigation, gunnery, and ship handling. His service during this period instilled in him a deep understanding of naval operations and a respect for meticulous planning and discipline. After the war, Lindemann remained in the Reichsmarine, the post-war German Navy, limited by the Treaty of Versailles. Despite restrictions, he continued to develop his skills, eventually rising through the ranks thanks to his technical expertise, leadership abilities, and calm temperament under pressure. Rise through the ranks. By the 1930s, Lindemann had established himself as a respected officer, known for his strict professionalism and attention to detail. He commanded several cruisers, where he honed his skills in long-range navigation, gunnery coordination, and fleet maneuvers. His reputation for fair but firm leadership earned him the respect of both superiors and subordinates. Sailors under Lindemann's command often noted his ability to maintain morale and discipline, even during long and difficult voyages. Appointment to Bismarck. In August 1940, Ernst Lindemann was appointed captain of Bismarck, then Germany's largest and most advanced battleship. This assignment was both an honor and a tremendous responsibility. Bismarck represented the pinnacle of German naval engineering, a ship capable of challenging any Allied vessel at sea. Lindemann was tasked not only with commanding the ship, but also with training and organizing a crew of over 2,200 men, many of whom were relatively inexperienced. His leadership would be critical in maintaining cohesion and efficiency on a vessel of unprecedented size and complexity. Personal qualities and leadership style. Lindemann was known for several defining characteristics. 1. Calm under pressure. He rarely raised his voice and made decisions with calculated precision, even during high-stakes operations. 2. Technical competence. He understood the mechanical, gunnery, and navigational systems of his ship intimately. 3. Discipline and fairness. He enforced strict standards but earned the loyalty and respect of his crew. 4. Strategic awareness. He combined tactical acumen with operational prudence, always weighing risk against opportunity. These traits would prove essential as Bismarck embarked on her first Atlantic operation, where every decision could mean the difference between success and disaster. Transition to main part. In the next section, we will explore Lindemann's leadership during Bismarck's operational deployment, including coordination with the Kriegsmarine Command, engagements in the Danish Strait, interactions with his officers and crew under combat conditions, critical decisions that shaped the legendary hunt by the Royal Navy. This will reveal how Lindemann's expertise and character directly influenced the events that made Bismarck a symbol of naval warfare in World War II. Commanding Bismarck, battle strategy, and decisions. By May 1941, Captain Ernst Lindemann had assumed full responsibility for Bismarck, Germany's most powerful battleship. With a crew of over 2,200 men, advanced weapons, and formidable armor, the ship represented the pinnacle of naval engineering. Yet, commanding such a vessel required far more than technical knowledge. It demanded leadership, tactical insight, and the ability to make split-second decisions under fire. To Operation Rheinübung, the Atlantic sortie. The mission, known as Operation Rheinübung, was to break into the Atlantic and disrupt Allied convoys supplying Britain. Lindemann, working with Admiral Gunther Lütjens, coordinated the operation. Bismarck's speed and firepower allowed it to engage selectively and evade larger British forces. Lindemann's role was direct command of the ship, ensuring the crew executed orders efficiently while maintaining combat readiness. His leadership style, calm and methodical, instilled confidence in the crew, critical for a high-stakes mission far from support. Engagement in the Danish Strait. On May 24, 1941, Bismarck encountered HMS Hood and HMS Prince of Wales in the Danish Strait. Lindemann's decisions in the battle demonstrated his tactical mastery. He ensured the ship's broadside was optimally positioned, maximizing armor protection while delivering effective fire. Maintained steady fire under pressure, coordinating with gunnery officers for precision targeting. Oversaw damage control operations, keeping vital systems functional despite enemy hits. The outcome was catastrophic for the Royal Navy. HMS Hood was destroyed, a blow that shocked Britain and cemented Bismarck's place in naval history. And damage control and crew management. Even with victory in the first engagement, Lindemann faced immense challenges. Damage from British shells required immediate repairs to critical systems, including steering and propulsion. Lindemann's leadership kept crew morale high, assigning officers and sailors to damage control teams efficiently. He understood the importance of discipline under fire, ensuring the ship remained operational despite multiple threats. This combination of technical knowledge and human leadership was crucial in sustaining Bismarck during the Royal Navy's pursuit. Not the Royal Navy pursuit. Following the Hood's sinking, British forces launched a massive pursuit, including battleships, cruisers, destroyers, and aircraft. Lindemann coordinated maneuvers to evade detection and maintain strategic positioning. He adjusted speed and course to exploit Bismarck's advantages in armor and firepower. Oversaw continuous readiness of main and secondary batteries, anticipating surface and aerial threats. Despite skillful command, a torpedo from a Swordfish aircraft hit Bismarck's rudder, drastically reducing maneuverability. Lindemann had to adapt quickly, balancing the ship's offensive potential with the new vulnerability. Final surface engagements. As British battleships closed in on May 27th, Lindemann supervised targeting and firing of Bismarck's main guns, hitting enemy ships despite overwhelming odds. Coordinated secondary armaments and anti-aircraft defenses to defend against planes and destroyers. Managed critical damage control, including flooding, fires, and machinery failures. Accounts from survivors describe him as calm and resolute, maintaining command until the final moments, a testament to his professionalism and courage. Now, personal stories and officer interactions. Lindemann maintained close communication with department heads, ensuring all areas of the ship were coordinated. Officers reported that his morale-boosting presence inspired them to perform beyond expectations. Anecdotes include him personally inspecting gun crews and damage control teams during active bombardment, demonstrating hands-on leadership. Tactical and strategic insights. Lindemann's decisions during Bismarck's Atlantic sortie provide lasting lessons. 1. Maximizing strengths while mitigating weaknesses. Armor, firepower, and speed were used strategically, but vulnerabilities like the rudder required constant monitoring. 2. Leadership under pressure. Calm. Disciplined command allowed the crew to maintain operational effectiveness even during catastrophic engagements. 3. Coordination with Fleet Command. Working with Admiral Lütjens, Lindemann balanced tactical ship control with strategic objectives of the Kriegsmarine. 4. Adaptability. Faced with unforeseen damage and relentless pursuit, Lindemann made decisions that extended the operational life of Bismarck and inflicted significant damage on the enemy. Sacré. Transition to next section. In the next section, we will explore the final hours of Bismarck, including the Royal Navy's coordinated attacks from sea and air, Lindemann's role during the ship's final battle, rare details of crew experiences, and personal accounts of leadership under fire. This will capture the dramatic conclusion of Bismarck's operational history and highlight Lindemann's enduring legacy as a naval commander. Continued. Strategic decisions and tactical moves. After the initial engagement with HMS Hood and HMS Prince of Wales, Bismarck had achieved a significant tactical victory. But the situation quickly became critical. British forces were now fully aware of Bismarck's position and began a massive, multi-pronged pursuit across the Atlantic. Lindemann's role shifted from offensive operations to survival and evasion, while maintaining combat readiness. Adaptation to pursuit. Lindemann made several crucial decisions to prolong Bismarck's operational effectiveness. 1. Course and speed adjustments. He leveraged Bismarck's speed advantage, attempting to stay ahead of pursuing destroyers and cruisers. Altered routes to avoid known British patrols, while keeping within operational range of friendly supply points. 2. Utilizing armor and firepower, defensively maintained Bismarck in positions that maximized her armored sections toward potential threats. Ordered continuous gunnery readiness, allowing the crew to respond immediately to enemy sightings. 3. Crew management under stress. Lindemann rotated personnel on critical systems to prevent fatigue during the long, tense pursuit. Conducted inspections of damage control teams, reinforcing discipline and morale under extreme stress. These actions delayed Bismarck's inevitable confrontation and showcased Lindemann's experience in high-stakes command. The AIR threats and damage control. The introduction of air power changed the dynamics of naval engagements. Swordfish torpedo bombers from HMS Ark Royal were deployed to attack Bismarck. Lindemann coordinated anti-aircraft fire, balancing effectiveness with conservation of ammunition. Despite careful maneuvering, Bismarck was eventually struck by a torpedo hitting the rudder, drastically reducing maneuverability. At this point, Lindemann faced the most challenging moments of his command. The ship could no longer perform evasive maneuvers effectively. Damage control teams worked tirelessly to stabilize flooding and maintain propulsion, while Lindemann made rapid tactical adjustments to minimize exposure. Defensive fire and surface engagements. Even with impaired mobility, Lindemann ensured Bismarck remained a deadly adversary. Ordered target prioritization, focusing on incoming threats from multiple Royal Navy vessels. Maximized the use of main and secondary batteries against closing battleships, cruisers, and destroyers. Monitored structural integrity, relocating crew from damaged compartments, and reinforcing bulkheads. These efforts allowed Bismarck to inflict damage on enemy ships while sustaining relentless attacks from superior numbers. The tactical ingenuity and command presence. Lindemann's leadership demonstrated several key tactical principles. 1. Flexibility in combat. He adapted rapidly to changing conditions, including damage, weather, and enemy positions. 2. Integration of human and mechanical resources. Coordinated gunnery, propulsion, and damage control with seamless communication among officers. 3. Moral authority maintained calm and control, instilling confidence in the crew despite dire circumstances. 4. Calculated risk-taking. Continued to engage the enemy effectively, even when odds were unfavorable, maximizing Bismarck's remaining offensive potential. Lessons from this stage of the battle. Even the most powerful battleship requires precise leadership and crew coordination to survive prolonged engagements. Air attacks and torpedoes exposed vulnerabilities that even advanced armor could not counter. Decisive and calm command can extend operational effectiveness, influence battle outcomes, and preserve lives as much as possible. Lindemann's actions during these hours illustrate the intersection of technology, leadership, and tactical thinking in naval warfare. The final hours before the climactic battle. As May 26 turned into May 27th, the Royal Navy closed in on Bismarck. The German battleship, now with a crippled rudder, could barely maneuver, and Lindemann faced the most critical challenge of his career. Every decision could determine the ship's fate and the lives of over 2,200 crew members. Impact of the rudder hit. A torpedo from a Swordfish aircraft disabled Bismarck's rudder almost completely. Lindemann immediately assessed options: attempt repairs, continue evasive maneuvers, or prepare for decisive engagement. He ordered damage control teams to stabilize the steering system, though full functionality was impossible. This moment shifted the balance. Bismarck's speed advantage was gone, and the Royal Navy's coordinated assault became inevitable. Coordinating defense under fire. Lindemann relied on trained officers to manage sections of the ship. Main battery crews targeted the closest enemy ships, aiming to maximize damage before Bismarck could be overwhelmed. Secondary guns and anti-aircraft weapons were kept in constant readiness against attacking aircraft. He personally inspected critical stations, motivating crew members to stay at their posts despite extreme danger. His calm presence allowed the crew to maintain operational efficiency even as the situation grew desperate. Tactical decisions in the final hours. Despite overwhelming odds, Lindemann demonstrated tactical ingenuity. 1. Positioning for maximum armor protection, or he angled Bismarck to present the strongest sections toward incoming fire. 2. Target prioritization or focused fire on the most immediate threats, using limited maneuverability strategically. 3. Damage mitigation or redirected crew to contain fires and flooding, slowing the progressive loss of critical systems. 4. Communication with command or maintained radio contact with Admiral Lütjens, ensuring that Bismarck's actions aligned with broader Kriegsmarine strategy. Even in this dire moment, Lindemann's decisions delayed the inevitable and inflicted damage on enemy vessels, highlighting his tactical skill and leadership under pressure. Human stories. During the final hours, crew members reported extraordinary discipline, working in compartments that were flooding or filled with smoke. Lindemann's personal inspections boosted morale, demonstrating that a leader's presence could inspire courage even in near-certain defeat. Officers recall him making quick, decisive calls under fire, including rerouting damage control teams and reallocating ammunition to critical guns. These stories show that Bismarck's legacy is not only a tale of steel and firepower, but also of human endurance, leadership, and courage. Preparing for the final engagement. As dawn approached on May 27th, Lindemann knew the Royal Navy's battleships were closing in, and there was little hope of escape. He instructed crews to hold their positions and fight to the last. Every system gun's armor, engines, damage control was put to the ultimate test. In these final hours, the combination of skill, discipline, and leadership exemplified what it meant to command a battleship in World War II. The final battle and legacy of Lindemann. By the morning of May 27, 1941, Bismarck was immobilized by damage to her rudder. The Royal Navy's fleet, including battleships King George V and Rodney, along with cruisers and destroyers, was closing in for a decisive engagement. Captain Ernst Lindemann faced the ultimate test of his leadership. The surface engagement. Lindemann ensured all main and secondary batteries were manned, giving the ship the maximum firepower it could muster, despite limited mobility. British ships opened fire, and Bismarck returned salvo after salvo with precision, striking HMS Rodney and damaging lighter vessels. Even under overwhelming odds, Lindemann directed the crew with calm authority, maintaining order and efficiency, despite the valiant defense. Bismarck's maneuvering was severely restricted, making her vulnerable to concentrated fire. The battleship sustained multiple hits below the waterline, flooding critical compartments and rendering guns inoperable. Lindemann continued to coordinate fire, damage control, and crew deployment, exemplifying the highest standards of naval command. personal stories and heroism. Officers recall Lindemann walking through gun decks and engineering spaces, encouraging crews even as the ship took heavy fire. Crew members describe him as unshakable, making critical decisions calmly while chaos raged around him. His discipline and courage inspired loyalty, keeping the ship fighting far longer than many expected. These moments underscore that Bismarck's fight was as much about human endurance as steel and weaponry. At the sinking of Bismarck. After sustained bombardment, Bismarck was immobilized and sinking. Lindemann, along with Admiral Lütjens, remained on the bridge until the end, demonstrating steadfast leadership in the face of inevitable defeat. Survivors recall the organized evacuation, guided by officers, reflecting the discipline Lindemann instilled in his crew. Bismarck sank with most of her crew, leaving a legacy of bravery, technical achievement, and strategic lessons. Lessons from Lindemann's command. 1. Leadership under pressure. Calm, decisive command can prolong operational effectiveness and save lives. 2. Integration of technology and human skill. Even advanced battleships depend on trained crews and coordinated action. 3. Tactical acumen. Lindemann's decisions demonstrated how experience and foresight can influence outcomes, even against superior forces. 4. Moral and psychological impact. The story of Bismarck and her captain inspired both respect and fear, leaving a lasting imprint on naval warfare. Historical significance. Ernst Lindemann's leadership on Bismarck highlighted the role of human decision-making in naval operations, even amidst technological marvels. The engagement with the Royal Navy demonstrated the limitations of battleships in the era of air power and coordinated fleet tactics. Bismarck remains a symbol of engineering excellence, tactical skill, and the courage of her crew, with Lindemann's personal story central to that legacy. So the final thoughts. Ernst Lindemann exemplifies the qualities of a true naval commander: technical mastery, calm under fire, and unwavering dedication to duty. His leadership made Bismarck more than a ship. It became a legend of World War II, remembered not only for its power, but for the courage and discipline of the men who sailed under him. The tale of Bismarck and Lindemann is a timeless lesson in naval warfare, where human skill, strategy, and courage intersect with technology to shape history. Rare details and personal stories. Behind the scenes. While Bismarck is often remembered for her firepower in the dramatic naval battles, the human element played an equally critical role. Captain Ernst Lindemann was known for several personal traits and actions that rarely appear in standard histories. 1. Hands-on leadership. Lindemann frequently visited gun decks and engine rooms during combat drills and even in active engagements. He would personally inspect gunners, ensuring they were well-trained and confident, boosting morale under tense conditions. 2. Close rapport with officers. He maintained a professional but approachable relationship with department heads. Officers reported that Lindemann valued honest feedback and encouraged open discussion during planning, unusual for such a strict hierarchy. 3. Attention to detail, even minor issues such as ammunition storage, engine performance, and seamanship, were closely monitored. This meticulous approach contributed to crew confidence in the ship's performance. 4. Personal courage and calm under fire. During the Danish Strait battle and final engagement, Lindemann remained on the bridge, calmly issuing orders, while the ship was under intense bombardment. Sailors remembered him as a steady presence, someone whose demeanor helped prevent panic. 5. Humanizing moments. Despite strict discipline, Lindemann occasionally personally assisted sailors struggling with equipment or injury, demonstrating empathy alongside command authority. He was known to lighten tension with dry humor in the mess hall, reinforcing morale on long voyages. These personal stories reveal the man behind the legend, showing how Lindemann's character directly influenced Bismarck's performance and the crew's resilience. Conclusion: Legacy and Lessons. Captain Ernst Lindemann and the battleship Bismarck remain symbols of naval innovation, leadership, and courage under fire. His contributions can be summarized in several key lessons. 1. Leadership matters as much as technology. Even the most powerful battleship requires a capable and calm commander to utilize its full potential. 2. Human factors define combat effectiveness. Discipline, training, morale, and decision-making were crucial in Bismarck's short but intense operational history. 3. Tactical ingenuity under pressure. Lindemann demonstrated that rapid assessment and decisive action can extend a ship's effectiveness even in the face of overwhelming odds. 4. Historical significance. Bismarck's engagement with the Royal Navy changed the perception of battleship dominance in modern naval warfare, highlighting the growing importance of air power, coordination, and intelligence. Lindemann's role cements him as one of the most competent and respected naval commanders of WTO2, whose decisions left a lasting imprint on naval history. In the end, the story of Lindemann and Bismarck is a timeless reminder. Courage, expertise, and leadership can make history, even against overwhelming odds. The ship may have sunk, but the legacy of her captain endures, inspiring generations of naval officers and historians alike.